hear me in the back? Raise your hand if you can hear me. I want to see hands. All right, fine. Thank you. We begin this special board meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Leading us tonight will be John Moses of the Safety Committee.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We do have a quorum of the board present, so I will call the May 3rd, 2017 special meeting of the Board of Directors to order. Welcome to all of you to this special meeting of the board. There is only one agenda item for the special meeting, and that item is the golf course. There will be no vote taken tonight. This meeting is being video recorded. The recording will be available on our website as soon as possible. We have extended the period for opening resident comments to at least 1 hour. You may each speak once for only 3 minutes. This will allow more people to speak. We will not be answering all questions during resident comments, but as in previous meetings, we will be taking extensive notes and intend to have as many answers as we can by the town hall meeting. For those of you who are not inclined to speak in front of large crowds, we have a station in the back for you to submit questions and comments in writing. The staff will ensure that your questions and comments will be given to the board. There are also some changes in procedures to maintain order. Last month, we had a meeting disruption. These will not be tolerated. If I ask you to sit down, and you do not, I will declare an immediate recess and the board will leave the room. Our head of security will request the disrupting party to leave the room and stay out. If there is not immediate compliance, security is to call Metro Police. The meeting will reconvene when the person is gone. You may all remain in your seats while this occurs. A disruption of an HOA meeting is a misdemeanor criminal offense in Nevada. Please, let us all maintain order. We have a lot to cover tonight. The purpose of this special meeting is threefold. First, it is another opportunity for the homeowners of Siena to make known their questions, comments, concerns, and ideas to the board regarding the golf course situation. We are here tonight to gather your concerns and ideas. Second, it is an opportunity for the homeowners of Siena to hear from board members what they know and what their concerns are about the situation. Third, the result of this meeting will help prepare us for the town hall meeting on May 8th. The town hall meeting is likely to be one of the most important meetings of our community. At that time, we hope to hear from the two people who have the power to shape the future of the golf course property, Commissioner Susan Braver and Tom Warden of the Howard Hughes Corporation. We have also invited our land use attorney, Bob Gronauer, to the town hall. We are asking him to focus on at least 3 questions. 1, what protection, if any, do we have against residential development of the golf course property? 2, what are the early warning signs and the process by which approvals for residential development is pursued? 3, how best should we proceed in order to shape the future of the golf course property to be one we want rather than one we don't? Additionally, for this special meeting tonight, we want you to know what all the members of this board do agree on. We agree to do everything we can to resolve the situation as best we can now while we are directors. We agree that we will not act as victims. We as a board will decide the best actions to take, including those that require a vote of the homeowners. We agree that we will not stick our heads in the sand and act as if the situation is not serious and may just go away. It is serious. Housing values in other communities have dropped significantly when their golf courses have been abandoned or altered with residential developments. This is not our opinion. We are merely reporting to you what any one of you can verify by going on the internet and reading relevant articles. We also agree on our approach to a resolution. We will continue to stay in front of the situation, be proactive, engaging the community, and guided by our lawyers. We will avoid getting into protracted litigation, and we will explore every option to keep the golf course operating. And we will continue to involve the county commissioners, planning commissioners, and Howard Hughes Corporation. This concludes my opening remarks. It's now time for resident comments. During the session, you may speak once for no more than 3 minutes. We will expand the session to at least 1 hour to accommodate as many residents as we can, and allow repeat speakers if no new speakers wish to speak. The only topic to be addressed at this special meeting is the matter of the golf course property. Please step to the front before the microphone and remember to state your name and address for the record. Where's Jerry? Jerry, are we all set?
I'm all set, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, Bill.
Good evening. Bill Rosenblum, 10385 Little Magical Avenue. We find ourselves with the most emotional problem Siena has probably ever faced. Let's put the problem in perspective. I learned a valuable lesson in my 60-plus years of running a business and making deals. That being, there are 2 sides to a deal, ours and the other guy. One, let's try to understand the other guy's position, even if you don't like it. Here's a scenario which might explain Dr. Lee's position. Most of his own stock. Let's say Mr. and Mrs. Jones buy a stock for $100 with a 5% dividend. They hope to make a profit on the stock, but it still pays a 5% dividend. Let's talk about Dr. Lee's side of the deal. Dr. Lee owns roughly a $6 million asset, give or take. He shows our board that he is making no return on his investment. His request is, give me 5% on their money, or $300,000 per year, or I will sell to a developer. He certainly is smart as Mr. and Mrs. Jones and knows how to get a 5% return, even if it's in the stock market, and even doesn't have to do anything but clip coupons. Now make up your mind. We were left with an ambiguous Sun County contract. Dr. Lee is worth billions of dollars that has been verified. He has the better hand. Do you think we should gamble for $150 a year that our property values, meaning all of Siena, not just golf front properties, go down, or buy insurance in the form of $150 per year to keep this status quo and maybe increase in value when we all decide to sell? That's my position.
Thank you, Bill. Good evening, Jerry.
Good evening, Your Honor. Jerry Gonzalez, 4549 Atlantico and 10366 Rio Lago. I have 2 homes, one on the first hole and one not. basically agreeing 100% with Jones in front of the stage. We all think we have the premier retirement community in Southern Nevada, which I truly believe. I've been here 12 years now, and I love this community. I golf occasionally, but what we have here is, I don't know where you can match it in Southern Nevada. The value that we have, for the most part, everybody doesn't get along, but for goodness sakes, this seems to me a no-brainer. You see the development that's going around our area here. And what that means is there's going to be more golfers. There's going to be more people coming to the Sienna Bistro and enjoying our bistro. There's going to be people that moving in that are renting, and they're going to look at our community that are seniors and buy in our community. For the $150 a year, $12.50 a month. I know some of you might be on a budget, but goodness gracious. For that amount, maybe it's 2 cocktails if you don't have it a month. Maybe it's that buffet you don't have once a week. Versus 30% loss of your real estate value. Seriously? I mean, it's already started. People are not looking in this community. There's homes for sale. And we're not having the looky-loos come in because they're looking for this decision, what's going to happen in this community. Please, think about this. This is long-term. 3 to 5 years, we'll be on our feet again. Dr. Lee will see the value of this community and what he can make his money, 5%, 10%. Please, this seems to me a very easy decision. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Hi, I'm Brett Nixon of 10522 Serrato Lane. My wife and I bought our Sienna home a little over a year ago. Oh, geez. My wife and I bought our Sienna home a little over a year ago. If we had any reason to believe the golf course was in jeopardy, we likely would not have moved here. With that in mind, I'd like to make 3 points. First, the $150 per home per year is a small price to pay to keep the golf course in operation. Whether or not your home fronts the golf course, we all benefit from the fact that Sienna is a golf course community. Looking at it another way, if the golf course adds even $15,000 to the value of your home, and I expect the actual amount is much more, it would take 100 years before that $150 a year would be even viewed as a net loss. That said, we need a clear understanding of both the short-term and long-term commitments that we will receive in return for this expense. Dr. Lee and golf courses management haven't done very much recently to engender trust and support from the Sienna community. Aside from the bistro and its excellent new chef, they don't even advertise in Sienna's Style magazine. Business 101, if you want a community's trust and support, first support and listen to that community. But instead, uncontrolled rumors have been flying around for several months, and their offer to sell frontage land came as a totally one-sided deal at more than $1 million an acre with absurdly high transaction fees, undesirable terms, and new taxes, all with a take-it-or-leave-it attitude. Third, as Trilogy and other communities are built nearby, demand for the golf course is sure to rise. Sienna's HOA, officers, managers, homeowners, non-owner residents, and nearby developers need to be united and resolute in absolute opposition to any development plan that would change the zoning or use of the golf course property. As I understand it, the golf course land is currently taxed as agricultural. Any new development would increase Sienna's population density,
add loads to most of the community's utility networks, and introduce serious security and safety compromises, all of which will add other costs and diminish the value and desirability of Sienna as the area's premier age-restricted community. Dr. Lee and his partners need to understand we will oppose their plans at every turn if they do close the golf course. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Stuart Austin, 10287 Via Del Tool. I'm a recent resident, or moved into Sienna only a few years ago, really when I turned 55. And one of the main reasons that my wife and I moved here was because of the golf course and all of the beautiful amenities that are offered by Sienna. We think it would be a shame for us, for the golf course to close. As pointed out by everybody that's spoken before me, with all the new development going on, the one thing that you don't see being built by these developers is the golf course, which again, as everyone has said, will attract new people to Sienna, improve our standard of living that is already probably the best in Southern Nevada. I can't echo what everybody has said, but I just wanted to make sure that I had my opportunity to add this to this. I think really this boils down to being an easy decision and a hard decision. As everyone has said before, at $150 a year, $12.50 a month, there's so many things that you can give up to make that up. What Dr. Lee is worth or what his business partners are worth has nothing to do with this. This is an opportunity for Sienna to ensure for the next however many hundreds of years that we're here, I'm here, maybe another 30 years, that our lifestyle only gets better and does not decline. And with the closure or potential closure of the golf course, we're already feeling this in terms of people not looking at buying, people from my generation, if you will, buying in here. Again, I plan on being here for 30 years, and I want to make sure that we maintain the quality that we have here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Les Frank, 4684 Versavio. I actually think this is a really unique situation. We're very lucky. It's rare you get to have a business decision where you see the consequences. We can see the consequences with Silverstone. We can see the consequences at Queensbridge. I actually took your suggestion, I went online, and I looked at houses for sale, relatively comparable, not on the golf course. In Sienna, they seem to be going for around $250, $275 a square foot. At Queensbridge, which is basically custom homes, nicer than any home here, they're going for $175 a square foot. They had been at $350. And at Silverstone, it's $115 square foot. They had been about $210. It's North Vegas, but it's a different situation. But we can see what will happen. It's fairly clear. And if we don't take some action, that's what's going to happen. About 40% of equity will go out the window. So that's what everybody needs to consider in terms of $15 or $150 versus $100,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Sharon.
I'm Sharon Murphy. I live at 10441 Akamoto. I would like to speak strongly in favor of making some deal with Dr. Lee promptly, and I urge the board and my fellow homeowners to think through what others have said about how much disruption and loss of property value would occur if this golf course is developed. This is insanity if we don't take this deal. It's like white on rice. Let's take it. I'm just serious, because if we don't, there's going to be lots of litigation fees, and I think that's the wrong route to go. I don't think, based on conversations I've had with Tom and the golf course management today, they don't want to develop this. They'd be happy just to be sort of made whole. And the cost of this per homeowner is like the cost of one fast food meal per month. What are we talking about here? Let's get serious and proceed to, make it agreement quickly and not nickel and dime and go through all kinds of litigation, which will only cost us a whole lot more money. I think we have a partnership with the golf course, and I think they want to stay partners with us. And we could do a lot in terms of even simple things like the board could finally approve putting their sign up out in front so people know it's a public road. Get it done, and let's proceed, because if we don't do this, as others have said, we are gonna seriously lose our property value. We have a lot of disruption with construction and litigation, and none of us, I certainly don't wanna go that way, and I urge others not to pursue that ill-guided management kind of philosophy. If you can do this some way with the board, out of reserve or something, just saying it's a budget item, appropriate it, get it done, don't put it to a vote.
Bruce Satmauer, 10525 Santa Marco. Well, with eloquent speeches that are hard to follow. Very simply, my dad was an attorney, and but for the fact that I was stubborn, I would have been one also. Obviously, we have to think about the legal aspects of whatever we decide as a community and whatever the board decides on our behalf. We also have to think about what's best for the community now and down the road, 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, property values and so forth. I have a feeling that the board is already thinking about this, but one of the most important things is if we decide to make a deal with the owners of that property right now, it has to be solid as can be. Our attorneys have to really look over it with a fine-tooth comb. And as I've discussed with some of the board members here, we have to really seriously look at the alternatives. What happens if they default? What can we gain? What can we gain out of this whole thing to make sure that this community will stay the best community in the state? That's the most important thing. As far as the $12.50 a month, now of course, that would be outside of our budget. And we have to think about the future also in our budget, because next year we might have a budget increase, next year after that a budget increase, and so forth. We have to figure out the total impact of what this golf course deal, if we make one, will be on the pockets of some of the people who are on the margin here in this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Les.
Hi, Les Astor, 10479 Regis ACRA. First of all, I'm glad Dr. Lee's alive. Last month he was dead. Okay, I said last month he was dead. This month he's alive. And now he needs money to live. Okay, on a serious note, most golf courses are being subsidized. And the fact is, for $150 a year with a good agreement, we are a much stronger, better community than without the golf course.
Thank you, Les. Good evening, Myron.
Hi, Elaine and Boyd. I'm going to take the opposite side of that argument. You know, everybody's right. $150 a year is nothing. But if you all, and many of you were not here to remember, when we first got into this development, the monthly dues were $50 a month. And a lot of people came in with the idea that they were going to get away with $50 a month. And at that time, I stood up at the board meetings that were run by the developer and told everybody that the money that developers are subsidizing, you're going to have to come up with at some time. Bottom line is that within another 5 years, you can expect, due to increase in standard of living, et cetera, that we're going to be paying for our own expenses $400 or $500 a month. Now, people don't want to recognize that, and a lot of people that came in at $50 a month got screwed because they were on a limited budget, they didn't have any money, they were on retirement, and those people were hurt badly, and there were an awful lot of them. And I'll tell you, and I'm a businessman, as the first gentleman that got up to speak, and if they're asking $12.50 a month now, next year it's going to be $25, the year after that it's going to be $50, the year after that it's going to be $150. So you better wake up to the fact that you're not just agreeing to $150 a year, you're agreeing to one hell of a lot more, and there should be some alternatives that we can look at. I don't know that even if that $12.50 a month can be used as a down payment on our partial interest in the golf course, and if we have to increase the amount per month, we get another piece of the golf course. Those are things that our lawyers should be aware of, but they're probably not, because lawyers are not businessmen.
Thank you, Mark.
Hello, I'm Jason Williams, 4451 Largo, Cantata. I'd like to speak in support of those who eloquently have said this should go forward. The amount we're asked to pay on an annual basis is minuscule. I've been a resident here in Siena for over 11 years, and I love the place. I love the people, and when I bring my family and friends here, this place, in comparison to others nearby, is considered tops. Now, as the board takes a look at the vote by the residents, if that vote is to go forward, my concern is that in most arrangements or deals, the devil is in the details. What others have said, I would add to by saying this. Board members, through your attorneys and others, make sure that in examining the language that you're protecting every aspect of Siena that you possibly can. We don't want any surprises that come along later, or people will say, where Dr. Lee and his associates will say, well, what we meant by this paragraph was to their advantage. So look over the language very carefully to make sure that if there's an error or an interpretation, it's to our benefit. Thank you.
My name is Peter Cazzola, 4564 Versailles. My wife and I came here, we're going on our third year now, so 3 years ago. And very, very similar story to those that have spoken so far, is that we just fell in love with Siena the first time we came down the main entrance. And as we proceeded to see all the facilities and the golf course and the amenities, it just said this was a no-brainer, we want to live in Siena. And so this became our retirement home. I know in life, you get value out of what you put into things. And it doesn't come easy sometimes. You have to work at it, work hard. So in terms of maintaining what we have here in the way of value and aesthetics, believe it or not, I couldn't sleep last night. I wound up reading the CC&Rs. So based on that, if you kind of sort out all of the nitty-gritty requirements, rules, we agree to do this, we agree to do that, there was an overriding theme in those CC&Rs. The overriding theme was, as a member coming into Siena and buying property, we all believe it, whether you believe this or not, you agree in writing that we will do all we can to maintain the value and aesthetics of the Siena community. Read the CC&Rs because it specifically requires us to do that. It really does. So, with that being said, the other overriding theme that I kind of garnered out of the CC&Rs was that the original developer always seemed to present periodically through the 21 sections, whatever it is, that he encouraged the HOA and the community to work cooperatively in a partnership to ensure that the value and the aesthetics of Sienna continue. And through that process of working together, cooperating, looking at different ways we can do things, you know, I trust our board. I too had a meeting with several others, with the golf general manager. He assured us they're very open to all types of ideas and ways they can work with us to maintain the golf course. And I heard the message, and some of you are in this room, he said they did not want to close the golf course. And here's a thought to kind of think about things. There was a couple of suggestions regarding this, but participation as a true partner in terms of profit sharing or whatever, because remember, the golf course is a revenue producer. It's not like this club, it's not like this building. It creates revenue. So I think that's a key factor in considering your decision to maintain the prosperity, the value, and the aesthetics of this Sienna community. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Any CPA or lawyer who looks my name is David Schultz. I live on Rio de Janeiro Avenue. And I have to tell you that I am more confused than anybody else here. And if everybody thinks they see this thing crystal clear, they really don't know what they're talking about. Let me tell you some of the big questions that are in my mind that I think you need answers for. One is, how come we're only going to convey money to the outside entity, to the golf course, from dues and assessments? If you got a good answer to that one, I'd like to hear it. I don't have a good one. Number two is we are either a 403 or a 401 corporation or 528 corporation. If we got into some sort of deal involving the revenue of the golf course, we could lose our status or jeopardize our status as a tax exempt organization. You have to consider that, because this is about 30% tax. As far as litigation is concerned, we have two sections in the CC&Rs that basically define the fact that there are easements that are placed upon us which cannot be changed without their approval. Effectively, we are what's called the burden party, and they are the benefited party. And the real question is, and this is where the litigation could go on for years, is if they change